that you have to answer yourself. What you find real might be different than the person sitting right next to you. Reality can differ from each of us, but it's our choice on what to follow. There are three different realities to choose from. They are the physical reality, the cultural reality, and the spiritual reality. These three make you who you are. So I sat down and thought about my own experiences, which are important to me. So I started with the physical reality. Now, physical reality sounds pretty straightforward. It's our reality that we are physically in. It's the world of math, science, and technology. Basically, I'm alive and that's the physical reality. But that's the cheap way out of it. The physical reality has other variables involved. Ooh, a science term. Not everything is perfect in this reality. Scientists every day are proving other great minds that they are wrong. I mean, we just had a guy free fall from the outer space, breaking the sound barrier, and yet he's still living. No one would have ever thought that would have happened. Back in the old days, yeah, even before the old people in the back of the room were born.
Hey!
Most people believed everything revolved around the earth. Nowadays, we know that's not true, and if someone would say that today, we think they're crazy. Today, we have technology that we would have never thought we had. I mean, if you ask a 5-year-old today if he knew what a tape was, he'd most likely say it's a sticky thing that you attach things to make things stay on walls, instead of music or film, like VHS players. 30 years ago, we had the first CD player. They cost about $1,000. Now we can buy a CD player for $25 at Target. Technology keeps changing. I mean, sure, when the iPod first came out in 2001, it was a big deal. But did you ever think they would have touchscreens? Even 90 babies like me are just blown away by the technology being made. When I was 4, I thought the original Star Wars had the best graphics in the world. Then you look at Avatar. The original Star Wars looked like a 5-year-old made it. So, the last thing in the physical reality is the real kicker. Math. It seems every year you go up in math, they tell you everything you want to do is wrong. And then math started using the alphabet. Like, what's going on here? We don't use numbers to spell words, so why do we need letters to spell problems? And then, they introduced unreal numbers. Is this supposed to be reality or unreality? So, the physical world didn't really help me find out who I am. It just told me the basic idea of what I am, and that is a human in a big world. But the physical reality always changes. The second reality I thought about was the cultural reality. Now, the cultural reality is the most commonly used for people to find themselves or even a soulmate, because you don't want to marry someone who hates everything that you do.
That's pretty good advice.
The cultural reality is stuff that we do pretty much every day. This reality is very important to me, and I wouldn't get most of my character traits if I didn't have it. I grew up with amazing parents that I'm so blessed to have. They have supported me in everything I do, whether it was playing baseball, playing music, or acting. They were there for me. They also put up with my mischief, of things like running to the middle of the street without looking with speeding cars zooming by. Or more recently, playing loud music at midnight. So kudos to them. They have taught me many things in my life. My dad and I share a huge love for music. He raised me on the Beatles, and we use music to escape from all the problems in our lives. It gives us a bit of sanity in this wild world. My mom is where I get my persona. She and I tell jokes to each other, and sometimes they get way out of hand. She's almost my best friend, but I say almost because she's still my mom. I tell her almost everything that is on my mind. I have heart-to-heart talks with her, and it seems to happen when she wants to go to sleep or the last 5 minutes of the TV show she wants to watch. Oh well. But they didn't raise me on their own. They chose their best friends to join on the fun of raising me. They became my godparents, and they couldn't have chosen better people for the part. They taught me a major lesson in life, like you must make the best of what you have when you have it. They taught me to have fun with life. It's full of stressful areas, so every moment you have to do something fun, take advantage of it. Sadly, most have moved away and even passed away. And it kills me today that they still aren't here. Even though they aren't here physically, they will always be in my heart. The cultural reality can be completely different from kids halfway across the world. I was recently a counselor for Kids for Peace. Kids for Peace is a program that is taking place here at Camp Michael, where we have 12 kids from Jerusalem and 12 kids from Atlanta to join together, making peace. The kids from Jerusalem were definitely different than the American kids. They had many different rituals than us, and they ate a bit differently than us. But they were just like any other kid. They just wanted to have fun. In Kids for Peace, you get a peace pal. This is your friend that you have for 2 weeks and you do almost everything with. Ultimately, create peace with. At first, I was shy to talk to my peace pal. She was a female. And I didn't know how to approach her to begin with. I didn't know if she would be offended if a handsome man like me just did it. And I didn't know if that was against her cultural beliefs. However, we created a bond after singing the song Roses by Outkast together. I realized that she was just a normal teen like me, and we became best friends, still message each other on Facebook today. Our cultural realities are completely different usually on the way that we are raised. It shows what we enjoy doing and how to live our lives. But it always changes from person to person, and I needed something that will never change. The last reality was a spiritual reality. This one is the most important to me. It was my eye-opener to who I really am. Most people use the spiritual reality to find their purpose in life. They use it to look to the better of life. I have based the majority of my teen life on this spiritual reality, and it's made me the person I am today. My spiritual story starts in April 2008. This year was by far the worst year of my life. I was in 6th grade, and at that time, it's already hard enough being a tween trying to fit in with the crowd. We've all experienced it, and it's very awkward. The girls try to be attracted to guys, and the guys try to be cool and attracted to girls. And today's so-called idols aren't really helping us with this. I was a kid who wanted every single person to like me. However, I tried too hard to be liked instead of being myself. During this mid-childhood crisis of my life, the world stood still for one day. On April 16th, my grandpa died of leukemia. He was there for almost everything I did. He actually made me think that books were kind of cool. He shared his love for the game of golf with me, and he was just gone like that. When he was in hospice, I couldn't even stand to see him. I couldn't even be in the room, and I regret this today. I wish I'd stayed in there with him. Still to this day, I can hear him in the back of my head saying, "Hey, I was this man's only grandson for 10 years, and just like that, he was gone." I was lost. I didn't know who to turn to, or who to go to, or where to go to. That summer, I joined Kids for Peace here at Michael. When I attended Kids for Peace, I was a happy camper on the outside, but miserable on the inside. Don't get me wrong, I had a great time, and I'm really glad I did it. That's why I went back, but it was hard to get over my grandpa's death. When I finally started to feel better of my grandpa's death, on October 16th, his birthday, my parents' wedding anniversary, my grandma suffered a stroke. 10 days later, on October 26th, she passed away. I couldn't handle it. I felt like everyone I knew was dying. Even my Sunday school teacher died of a heart attack. I broke down in the middle of class crying. I was completely lost. People I loved were dying. And to top it off with a big fat cherry, my teacher tells me to suck it up, people die all the time. Wow. Now I'm speechless and even more miserable. Yeah. I even started asking the dreaded question, is there a God? And why is he doing this to me? Finally, my life turned around. I went back to Michael in December for junior DYC, and it was the best thing that could have ever happened to me in a long time. At junior DYC, I made lifelong friendships with people I hold dear still today. I experienced the Michael magic for the first time. During this magical weekend, I developed a crush on a girl. she asked me to dance, and of course I said yes. Unfortunately, we never really got to dance because, surprise, it's a square dance. Yeehaw! So, life moved on. At the end of camp, she said that she was going to go to performing arts camp here at Michael. So I signed up for performing arts camp. I went, but she didn't. So I went to another session after she said she would go again and again, and she didn't. But because of this urge to see this girl, I found my second home. I came up every time I could, for that this place, my spirit runs free. I can be who I want to be and not care what others think. And I feel this every time. I feel the Spirit of God, and I was swept away by the Michael magic. I made friends that I never thought I would have had if it wasn't for her. In my mind, she is my guardian angel. It was a small thing she did, but it resulted in a ginormous thing. Because of her, I now believe God is in this room. He is every one of us, whether we know it or not. We have to use this power of God to make a change in someone's life. Our spiritual reality is our personal relationship with God. So use that relationship to your advantage. So now it's your turn. Sit down and ask yourself, which reality do you connect with the most? The physical reality of telling us how things work, even though they change every once in a while? The cultural reality of telling us who to be like and what others are like? Or the spiritual reality, telling us who we really are, and that never changes? No one can answer these questions for you, and that is why you have to find what is special to you. Think about this long and hard, and make this thought a reality. For this is my prayer, and this is my reality.
Hmm.